Good afternoon, everybody. It is Christmas Eve, so happy Christmas Eve and Merry Christmas. Hopefully you made it through last night without losing your power. Some of you are still without power, and unfortunately, we've got storm number 2 coming in here tonight. Lot to get to. Let's take a look at it right now. This is your visible satellite imagery. Oh, by the way, here's the Central Coast right here, so you can see where we are. This is that frontal boundary we had last night that produced all of the wind and the rain, which wasn't a lot for us, but it is raining pretty heavily in Southern California. And you can see these counterclockwise spins right out here. So we've got more weather to come. We've had this nice little break though, right? We've had this really nice little break in between. We had a little clearing here along the coast. That's been pretty nice. You can get out, get a walk in, enjoy watching some of the surf that's starting to come in, although it's pretty jumbly, but you know, there are some waves. Let's take a look at what's going on. Southern California right now. Oh man, remember we talked about this yesterday and the day before. I was expecting major life-threatening issues in Southern California. One, because they're going to get a lot of rain. Two, because they just can't handle a lot of rain because of their topography, the canyons, the steep mountains, and very little vegetation on a lot of that. So yeah, raining really good here across Southern California. This is that atmospheric river portion, so copious amounts of water in the atmosphere, and it's very, very slow moving for them. And look where we are right now. We've got flash flood warnings over a widespread area, including Los Angeles right now, out to Santa Clarita, Palmdale, and just outside of Santa Barbara. Obviously, huge mountains right there, very steep topography. So again, Southern California getting hit very hard right now. Travel, I am sure, is horrendous, if not life-threatening. If you are headed into Southern California, they'll start to see some reprieve here tonight before they start to get hit again during the afternoon tomorrow as storm number 2 starts to arrive. So Southern California certainly seeing more in the way of at least rain impacts than we did up here. Here's the setup. Storm door is open. What do we mean by that? You know, you've heard that thrown around so many times. The storm door is open. Okay, look, we've got what we call a long wave trough in the atmosphere. It's like a big hole. Okay, we're going to simplify this, like a big hole in the atmosphere. And whatever energy there is, and the jet stream's going like this, is dropping in. So you got this jet stream energy. This is all cold air that has come down from the north. So we've all been talking about how warm it is, right? Last night, with the warm front passing, our temperatures went up. It was about 62 degrees. I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I was up most of the night, A, because the wind was keeping me up, B, because way too excited to sleep with this kind of weather happening locally. So this area here, this counterclockwise swirl, this is low pressure. This is colder. This is great news for the Sierra because this cold air is going to come into the Sierra. It's going to turn whatever rain at low elevations right now over to snow. Travel is going to be very difficult by Christmas Day and into Christmas night. Looks really, really tough. And we're going to really change the temperature profile of our atmosphere. Again, that storm door is open. Remember, for about a month, we had this big ridge of high pressure in the atmosphere. That acts like a mountain in the atmosphere. Think about this. You've got water rushing towards you. You've got a big mountain or a big wall in front of you. The water cannot go through the wall. Every once in a while, if the jet stream's strong enough, it'll blast through. But generally, water is going to go around. It's going to go either up and over if it can. Most of the time it cannot. So it's going to divert. So over the course of last month, we saw the jet stream doing this, going up into the Pacific Northwest. Remember all of the rain they had to our north. Different story now. Mountains gone. Again, we got this hole. This is allowing the energy to head towards the coast, and you can see there is a big, and I do mean large, counterclockwise rotation out here. So this system is very different than the one we just had last night. Many, many differences. One, it's colder. It's going to produce a lot of snow in the Sierra. Two, it's going to produce more rain, and it's going to hang around for several days. It's not going to be one of these storms that just blasts through and we're done. There's going to be significant wind with this, and we're going to get there. And the significant wind will come in waves. I do not expect what we had last night in terms of a real ramp up in the winds, and then all of a sudden the wind dies off by the morning and you're done. We said that, right? We knew that the wind would only go 3 to 6, maybe 9 hours last night. That's exactly what happened. This will be different. We won't see 60 or 70 miles an hour of wind and gusts for 3 days, but we might see between 30 and 45 mile an hour gusts for at least 2 days. So it's a more extended type of deal in terms of the wind and the rain, although the winds overall might not be quite as strong, at least in gusts. Here we go. We got our Skittles map, right? All the colors here, the candy colored coded map here, all the watches and warnings. Same program as we did really 24 hours ago. They just rehoisted the same watches and warnings, which go into effect this evening and tonight and go through tomorrow morning. And the wind is what I'm really worried about. Again, the rainfall that we're going to be able to handle. I do not expect flooding. Could be some localized flooding. Some of the creeks could get a little close. I'm not expecting flooding on the San Lorenzo, the Carmel, Pajaro, Salinas. None of those rivers do I expect to come over the banks. We'll keep a watch on it, but right now that's the way it looks. Okay, here we are. What are we looking at? This is high wind warning, right along the coast. Same kind of thing as we had last night. Areas along the coast will get hit pretty hard. Santa Lucia's will get pretty hard. If you're inland, still going to have plenty of wind. It's a wind advisory. So along the coast, again, potential for 30 to 50 with some 60-mile-an-hour gusts. Inland, 30 to probably 50. Still substantial. And again, if we get a bit more rain, it's going to be a little easier for some of the trees to come down in the coming days. Let's take a look at the overall wind field. Right, so let's do this. Let's just kind of run this out, and you're going to start to see that this just starts to move along here over the coming days, and you're going to start to see the wind field kind of build up, as we say. So we'll do this. We'll put this into motion here, and you're going to see the winds start to come on board. Right now, we're right here. It's pretty light. We don't have a lot of wind. You can see it start to ramp up. This is this evening. You can start to see some of these stronger winds here starting to really come in. So again, as we get into, and I'm going to time it out for you, let's say this is about 11 o'clock tonight, and we'll zoom in, right? We'll zoom in. Your legends down here, this is like 30 to 40, maybe some 50-mile-an-hour gusts. We're going to see this wave of wind come through the Central Coast, and then it's going to lessen up a little bit again tomorrow morning. So we're going to get a lot of wind tonight. Tomorrow morning, less wind. But don't let your guard down, because there's going to be secondary spokes of energy that come across our area and inland. So watch this. The winds are down to 10 to 25, 30 maybe during the day tomorrow. And as we get towards the late afternoon and into the evening, here we go 4, 5, 6 o'clock, we're back to those 30 to 45 mile-an-hour gusts. So it's going to stay windy. The direction is also just a tad bit different, okay? These winds will start, they'll eventually come out of the southwest. Initially, they're going to come up straight out of the south. And yesterday and last night, the winds were coming out of the southeast. So I still expect strong winds in the Salinas Valley for Salinas, and along the peninsula, right, which is right here, and up in Santa Cruz. Now, Santa Cruz may take a little bit more of a hit out of this. And we're splitting hairs here, but wind direction is important with our terrain and our microclimates. So a southeast wind is stronger in some parts of our area than others. Santa Cruz, it's strong, but not as strong as it was across parts of Big Sur and, again, across the peninsula. This is going to be a little bit different, and I'm going to show you that on the wind models. Again, this is now Thursday afternoon and evening. So we start the wind up tonight. We get some strong gusts tonight, a little bit less tomorrow during the morning and the afternoon, and then it cranks up again Thursday evening and Thursday night. And then on Friday, we've still got some wind, not 50, but we're going to be 20 to 30 with some gusts to 40, probably all the way through about Friday afternoon. And then you can see the wind really lightens up by Friday evening. So we've got a wind event, and it's kind of more of a prolonged wind event. Let's take a look at the numbers here. And these are some of the gusts. So we'll just go through time, and I'll back this up to where we are right now. Not a whole lot going on. By this evening, we're starting to see 40, 45, 50 mile an hour gusts along the coast overnight. And by Thursday morning, we're still seeing some gusts. And you'll notice some of these bullseyes here tend to be along the San Mateo coast and maybe Santa Cruz and the peninsula. So not that much different than what we saw last night, maybe not quite as strong. And you'll also notice, you see these bullseyes right here? We didn't see that last night in Santa Cruz, believe it or not. Now, is the model right on this? It's hard to say. but with the wind direction just being a little bit different, a little more southwesterly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we had. So keep that in mind. If you got some cleanup to do, some branches that are kind of hanging that you're a little worried about, best to get those done this afternoon. I did that on the property too. We had a couple that were, well, I'll just say they were suspect. They were already hitting the house. I should have done that a few weeks ago. But yeah, I was derelict in my duties. Let's take a look. That's one model. And again, if we go back, we'll go back here and we'll take a look. And I'm just going to show you, this is Monterey, 53 mile an hour gusts, Big Sur 48, and widespread 30 to 50. So still significant. Let's take a look at one of the other models because I compare models. This is what we do. You can't just go with one. I mean, when you got a serious health issue, do you go with one doctor or you get a second opinion, right? So this is what we do. We do second opinions. Sometimes we even do third opinions, sometimes fourth. Yeah, there's a lot of models out there to look at, and it's kind of fun if you're into this stuff. So there are those wind gusts coming up here again this evening, tonight, and you can see along the Big Sur coast. And then they start to wane on Thursday, and then we get a little bit more wind Thursday afternoon. In terms of rainfall, nothing really here this afternoon and this evening. So if you're traveling for Christmas Eve here tonight, or at least in the evening, you're doing okay. But as we get into the overnight, you're going to start to see the showers. Most of us will be asleep. Santa will be doing his thing, and they'll be cruising through. They'll have the Doppler radar on, no problem. They'll be doing their mission overnight, and we're going to go through Thursday morning. We've still got rain in Thursday morning here, and you'll notice 4 a.m. still got some rain going. So very early tomorrow morning, we're still going to have some travel issues. If you're thinking about, hey, I'm going to hit the road really early to beat the traffic in the morning, you're also going to be dealing with wet weather. Now, let's see, by 10 o'clock tomorrow, still got showers, but you see how they're more isolated? These could be some thunderstorms tomorrow. So we could see some thunderstorms coming on through. That will be heavy downpours. You can see how it's kind of trailing, the trailing edges of these. It's not one big wave. It's more pockets here that'll be developing. So it'll be on and off, hit and miss. You'll get some sun, you'll get some gusty winds, you'll get heavy downpour. It'll stop, it'll come back. That's what Thursday is looking like. And it's still going to be pretty windy on Thursday. So there'll be some wind issues. And now we're going to go all the way through the day on Thursday into Thursday evening. Another round Thursday night for rain. And again, there's kind of these spokes. We could call them fronts. They're going to be waves that come through the atmosphere. And every time one of these waves comes through, we're going to have a more steady or heavy rain. And we're also going to see those gusty winds. So again, that's Thursday night. We talked about the winds lightening up on Thursday and then coming back up and becoming problematic, Thursday evening into Thursday night. Maybe just wind advisory type stuff, not high wind warning, but some pockets of heavy rain there Thursday night into Friday morning. And then by, let's see, we'll do the last frame here. This is what we call a high-res model, kind of a blend of a lot of the models here. And it's saying, yeah, rain should be ending probably, when I say ending, steadier, heavier rains probably ending Friday morning, and then maybe a scattered shower or two Friday afternoon. In terms of the amounts, this is through Saturday. So we've got some pockets, normal hot spots, Santa Cruz Mountains, Santa Lucia's. How much? Well, I mean, on the high end, maybe another 4 to 6 inches in the Santa Lucias, and then maybe another 2 to 4 plus in the Santa Cruz Mountains. But again, this is over days. This is starting tonight. So we've got, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday. This is 3.5 days worth. This is not problematic if this is the way it comes in my mind. So flooding issues, not a big concern for me or for anybody, but something we always keep a watch on because this is a forecast and we are still, we're talking the next 3 or 4 days. Things could change. So definitely keep checking in. I'll keep doing the updates. And if something looks a little bit more problematic, I'll get on sooner. Otherwise, have yourself a safe, if you're traveling, and a healthy Christmas. And hey, we're getting a lot of snow in the Sierra. I love that. We'll do that Sierra forecast. If you are heading up, just a quick note. They're not really operating much right now. They haven't had enough snow, but they're getting it. And the travel looks really terrible Christmas Day and Christmas night. Friday will be easier, not easy, but easier. And then Saturday is when they're really going to start opening up most of these chairlifts and the terrain. Because they haven't really had any snow. They got to build what they call the ramps. They got to plow everything out. They got to get the parking. I mean, it's a monster operation to get a place like Palisades or any of Kirkwood. I mean, yes, they are operating, but they're not operating anywhere near capacity. And when you take the holiday and you attach that to a monster snowstorm, and they really haven't been open yet, that's a lot for them to overcome, and avalanches and all of that has to happen. So they will get open, and this weekend looks fantastic weather-wise. The winds will be down, the sun will be out, the skiing and snowboarding will be great, and it looks like that'll set us up all the way through New Year's. There might be some more little systems. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that, for a little refresh next week. But for now, hunker down, get to clean up, and enjoy your Christmas, and we'll talk to you either later tonight or tomorrow.